Could I get you to say your name and your occupation to the camera?
My name is Melissa Sklarz. I work here at Actors Federal Credit Union. I'm the director of the collections department.
So how long have you been doing this?
I started here in 1997. In the 90s, it was very hard for transsexual people to find work, so I started out here as a part-time while I was also a cocktail waitress at night. Even though I was college educated, it was very difficult to find work. Once I got my foot in the door here and worked here for 6 months, after a while they promoted me, made me full-time. I've been promoted twice since then. I'm now the director of the department.
Would you say that there's a lack of representation for LGBTQ people in government?
The amount of gay and lesbian people are growing dramatically here in New York City and New York State. Already now in Queens, we have 2 gay men who are on the city council, and we have 2 gay women. And now, as they succeed, more and more gays and lesbians are running for office throughout the state.
What about transgender people?
Transgender people, it's very hard. Our community is very small, and to run for office, I wanted to run for office. I wanted to run for state senate. And they said, you have to go to every community meeting in your district. I said, that's not a problem, I can do that. And they said, you have to raise $250,000, and I went, I can do that. And then they said, you have to quit your job, and I went, wait a minute. I was not willing to quit my job. There are 2 of us that are involved in the Democratic Party power structure. There's another gal in Westchester who's a district leader. It's very, very hard. As far as I know, Mel Wymore is the first trans person to be running for public office in New York City, New York State. The biggest concern I have for transgender people getting basic civil rights is protection in school and taken seriously in the workplace. In New York State, it is still legal to fire someone if they change sex. Teachers and doctors and lawyers and nurses and businessmen can all be fired. Here in New York City, we are protected. On Long Island, they're not protected. In Westchester, they're not protected. In other parts of New York State, they're not. And so if you decided to stop being Gemma and start being Jim, you would have issues. And if your employer doesn't like it, it would be acceptable to fire you. And what we want to do is allow people to have the basic right to work. The ability to work and keep a roof over your head is stability here in New York, and it should be essential for everyone. Those are the biggest things. And everything else, whether it's a birth certificate and health care, or we don't want people to be arrested to be caught using the bathroom. If a mom and a kid feel that the person in the stall next to them is inappropriate, in a lot of parts of New York State, those people can be detained and even arrested. It would be very ironic if on my trip to New York to Albany to advocate for civil rights for all transgender New Yorkers, if I use a restroom along the thruway and someone decides I shouldn't be there and then get arrested. Here in New York City, I am protected, but throughout New York State, I would not be.